Today, we're going to pull back the curtain on a university course that's doing something, well, pretty radical. It's not just teaching tech skills, it's designed to build real-world tech project managers from the ground up, ready for a job market that, as you know, never ever stops changing. Okay, so let's just start with the big question, right? This is the central challenge. The goal here isn't to just hand students a textbook. It's about giving them a way to solve incredibly complex problems in a world where the tools and the challenges are always in motion. So, how on earth do you do it? Well, it all starts here, with Phase 1, building a rock-solid foundation. But maybe not in the way you'd expect. See, this isn't about becoming a master coder overnight. It's about understanding the language of technology. And this quote, this really gets to the very heart of the whole philosophy. The point isn't to turn every single student into a top-tier developer. It's to empower them to manage development. You have to understand what's happening behind the screen so you can ask the right questions and think strategically about how technology can actually solve a business problem. To get there, students first get their hands dirty with the core tools of the trade. They learn that Python, for example, is an absolute powerhouse for data analytics. They see how SQL is the universal language for talking to databases. And of course, the big three for the web. It's all about learning the right tool for the right job. And this is where it all starts to click. The first assignments, they aren't just abstract coding exercises. So, for instance, when students run SQL queries on a financial fraud database, the goal isn't just to get the syntax right. It's to understand the story the data is telling, to see how a few lines of code can drive a massive business decision. It's a huge shift from what am I writing to what am I achieving.
Okay, so let's move to the next phase and see how this all connects. Once students get the basic tools, the what, the course introduces the how. And in the modern tech world, the how is pretty much always about being agile. And more specifically, it's about a framework called Scrum.
So what is Scrum, really? Put simply, it's a system for getting things done. Instead of creating one giant, long-term, rigid plan, Scrum breaks these huge, complex projects down into small, focused cycles of work. We call them sprints. And this makes it way easier to adapt, to get feedback, and to deliver real value quickly and consistently.
Now, this brings us to the people side of Scrum, which is built on 3 key roles. You've got the product owner, they're the visionary. Then there's the Scrum Master, who is basically the coach. And finally, the development team, the group that actually builds the thing. But here's the most important part. There's no traditional top-down boss. It's all about collaboration.
To keep everyone in sync, teams have this quick 15-minute meeting every single day. It's called the daily stand-up. And it's not a status report for a manager, it's a commitment to each other, to the team. Everybody answers these 3 simple questions. It creates total transparency and helps the team spot and smash through roadblocks almost instantly. And to make all this work visible, teams use a deceptively simple but incredibly powerful tool, the Kanban board. The to-do column has all the prioritized tasks. Doing shows what's being worked on right now. And done, well, that shows what's completed. With just one look, everyone on the team knows the exact state of the entire project. No confusion. Okay, so theory is great and all, but how do you make these abstract ideas feel real? You give the students a hands-on challenge, one where they have to put Scrum into practice immediately. And here it is. The first major project wasn't some complex software problem. It was something everybody can relate to. Plan an international trip for a family. This was the test, the crucible, where students had to stop just learning about Scrum and actually start living it. And this project had very specific rules. The team had to plan for 3 adults and a 1-year-old baby, which, wow, adds a whole new level of complexity, right? They had to pick a destination that didn't require a visa, which forced them to do actual research. And the goal? Build a simple, functional interface to present their travel plan. This was their first real minimum viable product. Now, here's a core principle of Agile. You are never really done. The real learning doesn't just happen in building that first version. It happens in the cycle of getting feedback, making changes, iterating, and constantly improving the product. So after that first project was delivered, the professor sent this message. It was a clear signal. You've proven you can build something that works. You've met the bare minimum. Now the bar is higher. It's time to go from a student project to a professional-grade solution. So what does that advance actually look like? Well, the feedback got incredibly specific. Don't just list travelers, specify their ages and their unique needs, like a stroller or medicine. Don't just name the city, break it down by neighborhood. Don't just give dates, include precise travel times. This is how that abstract idea of iteration becomes a concrete to-do list. All right, let's get to the final phase, where everything comes together. This is where the students tackle the most advanced stuff, blending their project management skills with truly state-of-the-art technology and real-world business situations. So, to teach students how to plan for something totally new, the professor uses this really memorable analogy: bathing an elephant. At first, the task just seems impossibly huge. But once you start asking questions, how big is the elephant? Do we have the right kind of soap? How are we going to dry it? This massive, intimidating task starts to break down into small, manageable steps. And that's the whole secret to planning for the unknown. And just to make sure the course is on the absolute cutting edge, it introduces advanced AI concepts like RAG. Now, this isn't just about using ChatGPT for some ideas. No, this is about understanding the architecture that lets companies securely hook up these powerful language models to their own private data. That way, they get answers that are super relevant and accurate. The students are learning the tech that companies are literally implementing right now. All these skills build up to this, the final challenge. The student teams act as if they're a consulting firm, and they get a formal request for proposal, an RFP, from a potential client. Their mission is to use everything they've learned, agile methods, tech knowledge, planning skills, to put together a professional bid. It's the ultimate simulation of a super high-stakes business deal. So in the end, this course is much more than just a class. It's a model for a whole new way of learning and working. It's collaborative, it's practical, and it's always adapting. And that brings us to the final question, not just for the students, but for all of us. Is your team, is your company ready for this? Because this way of working, this is where the future is headed. Thanks for watching.